Hello and welcome. So I'm going to take a look at the Guardian's Quick Cryptic crossword, and this is being published on Saturday the 19th of April 2025, and it's been set by Dice, which is a name I do not recall seeing before. So interesting to see how this goes. This is number 55 in the series. If you aren't familiar with them, the Quick Cryptic by the Guardian is an 11 by 11 grid. To make it a little bit easier for beginners, and to really make it easier for beginners, we have only 4 types of clues. We have hidden words, we have sound alikes, which I know many people have problems with how to decode which version of the sound alike to put in. So if we have any of those where it's confusing, I will go through them carefully and try and explain that to you. Acrostics, which is where you take the initials of some of the words in the clue to make a new word, and insertions, which is where I believe you add a letter into one word to get another word. So those are the 4 types. This is number 55, as I say, and I'll put a link down in the description if you want to have a go at it yourself before I go on. I go through these very, very slowly just to explain, help people out, help beginners do it. Other souls on my channel I just bomb through as best I can. I do the cryptic and the everyman each week, and those are a bit quicker, but I do explain all the clues to those as well. So if you want to watch any of those, go for it. I'm just going to check I'm recording, which is always useful, and I am. So I think it's time to start looking. Right, holiday in overseas territory. I would have thought my first place to go with a lot of things is to look for a hidden word. Siesta, no, overseas territory, hidden works. I can't see anything there, so I'm going to move on. So the other thing I do is I just go through the clues quickly to see what I can get and put some letters on the board. Cut of lamb, something sort of like a chop, unsuitable for sweet rolls. There's not a lot going on in there that I can think of. Okay, confirm, taking on English, so put an E into a word meaning confirm. Iron Man, among others. Iron Man is, I think it's a superhero, isn't he? And it's Robert Downey Jr., but neither of those seems like it'll come. Is it a Marvel? No. Marvel character? Don't know. Okay, 9 across, 3 letters. Popular, starters of, okay, H-O-T, hot, halloumi or tapas. Hot, yep, now hot. It's hot, it's popular. 10 across, 4 letters. The French, so that makes me think it's either going to be LA or LE. Maybe occasionally be LS. Let's see what we get to. Nurses provide vitality. Nurses provided vitality. Word for vitality beginning with. I don't know what the abbreviate. I think nurses are like state nurses, state registered nurses earn. That doesn't really look right. Okay, let's try 12 across. Dried fruits, like raisin, is squashed by fall. Is squashed by fall. Okay, not a lot happening here. I have picked up the quick cryptic, I think. I'm not entirely sure at this moment. Followed flawless broadcast. Okay, that, well, broadcast would normally be either an anagram indicator or a sound like indicator. We know we've only got sound likes in here, so I'm fairly comfortable that because broadcast is near flawless, we need to think of a word that means flawless, and then convert that into a word that means followed. Flawless is perfect. Followed is dogged, trailed. Flawless, ideal. Nope. Okay. 15. Coloured section of dandied edition. So that's hidden word. Of is your hidden word indicator. Dandy edition. Now, one of the ways you can look at that is think, I don't really, dandy's a bit of an obscure word. I mean, it could be referring to kind of a man who dresses kind of I don't know, I can't think of the word, but flamboyantly. But it's also, could be comic. There's not much else. So sometimes when you get words like that, you're thinking it's either a hidden word or an anagram, and there's died for coloured. So let's go down to 18. Tips from, so probably an acrostic coming up. O-U-T, out. Exposed is out. 19. Fine roses easily expire. Shelter is advantageous at first flower. So we've got a 7-letter word here. A lot of words in this clue. I'm thinking could be an acrostic with at first. We've got F. We've got F-R-E-E. Shelter is advantageous. Freesia. And freesia is a type of flower, so the acrostic is all those words. So the length of that clue gives hints that because you've got a 7-letter word, there might be something going on like that. Oh, 25. Team moaned audibly. So we've got an acrostic, a sound like here, and a team is a side. So that fits in there. And if you side, I'm going to type it in here just to make it easier to see. That would be side. So that would be to have moaned. So you can see here, moaned is side, S-I-G-H. That's next to the sound like indicator. So therefore we convert the moaned version into the team version. Easy to do on this one but they have different number of letters to them, but that's how to work it out. What's next to the sound like indicator and therefore needs to be converted. 22. A number in school stink. A number in school stink. A number makes you think of something like A10. Eaton. Don't think there's a sound like indicator there. Is there a hidden word there? Hidden. In. School stink. Jules. Halls. Ools. Olos. Din. Don't think so. So it's either going to be, it can't be an acrostic because there's too many letters. That has to be an insertion. So I would think put an into a word for school. School is normally eaten. Eaten. To create stink. Don't know. Can't see that one at the moment. Let's go to the downs. Modern technology found in cinema illegally. Because we've got hiddens, modern technology might be something like IT. Found in cinema illegally. M-A-I-L. Email. There's email hidden in that one. So yeah, found in is taken as its hidden word, goes across cinema. So one of the tough tricks of the paper crosswords and even the online is that they put it across the sentence like that, which makes it very hard to spot. 2 down. Witness, 3 letters. C maybe. Letter being dictated. Being dictated could be a sound like indicator. The letter, yeah. So if the answer's C, the letter that was being dictated is a C. Yeah, so that's next to the acrostic next to the sound like indicator. So now convert it to the word we're looking at, which is to witness, to see. Elons, okay, so Musk getting grief seemingly, principally issues from tweeters. I mean that looks like it should be eggs, principally acrostic. Again, Elon's a weird word. The only word you can get from Elon really is Musk as a synonym. So you think it's either going to be a hidden word or an anagram, or in this case it's part of an acrostic, EGGS. So yeah, gosh, issues from tweeters. Yeah, I guess issue. Okay, so issues is a word in crossword land that talks about giving birth to children. Yeah, I don't know many people who would use that to refer to their children. Yes, our issues are. So tweeters are obviously birds, so issues come from them. Our eggs. We got 7 letters with an H and a Y. Kuna's typically, we've got an H and a Y in there, which makes me unhasty. Running around, taking his time. Taking his time is unhasty. Running around, gosh, is an interesting. Running around. Okay, so yeah, we've got Kuna's typically is going around a word meaning taking his time, and there it is, unhasty in there. 6 down. The enemy, something like a foe, personifies a tangerine to some extent. Okay, to some extent is a very good hidden word indicator. Some is definitely a good hidden word indicator. So there's the T. I've got a 5-letter word with a T in it. Let's go 5 there. We've got S-A-T-A-N, Satan. The enemy. Wow. Okay, Satan. 7 letters, 5 letters, 7 down, 5 letters. Money, brought up in audition. I think audition, okay, audition's another sound like indicator, not an obvious one, but think of your auditory system, your hearing, so you can hear this. So brought up is raised, rear, brought up. I mean, I would normally, with that clue, be looking for a word going upwards to create a word meaning something going downwards, but we haven't got that kind of clue here, reverses. So I think it's a sound like. Money sent, brought up, reared, raised, pound, euro, dollar, rand. Don't know. Let's move on. Something TD, so that's probably going to be TED. 11 letters, 11 down, 7 letters. European, aboard, hadn't, eaten, ate, everything. Wow. Got a TD, so I don't think there's a hidden word there. Not entirely sure. Because if you go from the T forward to D, T forward to D, T forward to E, there's not. So unless I've got side wrong. European is normally E, but we aren't playing with charades today. European aboard. European board means put an E into a word for hadn't eaten to get ate everything. So, gloated. The E is not going to be added there, so there's another E up here somewhere, I would think. Because if you took the E out, you'd be left with a word that ends TD, which is, I can't think of one. Hadn't eaten is starved. Gosh. Hungry. Nope. Okay. 13. Hefty bouncers. Got an F in 5 letters. Got an F in hefty. So I'd be thinking anagram here, but there's no anagrams today for a 5-letter word with an F in it. But that isn't in this set of clues. Could be a hidden word, but the F's too far into it. So bouncers. Endure education for years to begin with. Begin with could be it's acrostic. Beefy, Beefy, and hefty is beefy. Let's go on to primarily. Okay, that's almost certainly going to be an acrostic. So CROSS, cross, and a cross is a mixture. 16 down. Demise, D something A. Demise could be death, sealed by ineptitude. Sorry. At Harrods, there's death across there. Sealed by is an interesting hidden word indicator that I have never come across. Obviously, there's lots of possibilities, but that's a new one on me. We got 17 down. Something reportedly, so that's a sound like indicator. Inclined, leaned towards a period of abstinence. Yeah, lean, I think it is. But why would that be lean? Period of abstinence. Gonna leave that one for a minute. I think it's lean, but not sure. Inclined, leaned. Okay, 20 down. Beginning with S. Child, star, announced. Another sound like star is a sun. So the sun is next to the star next to the sound like indicator. Now we convert that to a child, which is a sun, like that. Okay, the grid's looking a bit happier. Let's go back and see what we can mop up. Holiday in overseas territory. Oh, there's Easter. Okay, Easter's an easy. So see how easy that was to spot once I had some checkers on the board. That's why I go through kind of first pass and just get what I can get. Cut of lamb, unsuitable for sweet rolls. Okay, buns. Cut of is your hidden word indicator. Sweet rolls are buns. Okay, that was a bit hard if you, gosh. 8 across. Confirm taking on English. Iron Man among others. I've got no feel for that one at this moment. I'm going to have to think about that. So what's my next across? The French. Well, we've got my L, as I said, so it's an LA or LE. Nurses. Provided vitality. Vitality is... I can't think of a word beginning with L for vitality. Let's go on to this one. I said raisin, didn't I? Dried fruit is a raisin. Squashed by fall. Raisin is squashed by fall. Raisin. Raisin. Nope. Okay. 14 across, followed, flawless broadcast, followed, gosh, can't think of a word for that either. Right, this isn't going well. Okay, what we got? 22 across. A number in school, stink. Well, that's stench, isn't it? I think. Is that stench? Okay, so school is SCH, and put 10 into it, so stench. Okay, so we're putting in more than just one letter in our insertions. It can be a whole thing. So 10 going into SCH for school. A stink is a stench. That's fair enough. Lent. That's lent, isn't it? So reportedly inclined. So if you, I was thinking lean, but if you inclined, you lent against something L-E-A-N-T, and the period of abstinence, which we're just finishing up now, it's going through Easter, is Lent. Nice topical clue there. So yeah, Lent is that, and as I say, reportedly is next to the L-E-A-N-T version. So what have we got on the other down? I haven't got another one. Haven't got any extra letters to help me out. And then the European aboard, hadn't eaten, ate everything. Okay, so got to the crux now of these are a bit tough. I mean, I think this has been quite a tough puzzle anyway. At least you've got all Easter to have a look at it. You know, you've got a whole week to look at this puzzle if you're struggling. I have to try and record it to do it, so I will pause the video if I need to. So I'll get on. Confirm is to agree. Taking on English, so there's one E. Is there another E to go in there? Allege. English Iron Man. I mean, actually, we've seen that it isn't just adding one, is it? So it could be adding more than E. It could be taking on English, as in E, Avenger, isn't it? Oh gosh, wow, Aver. There's a word that I've only ever learned. A-V-E-R is to confirm. It's a word I've never come across outside of crosswords. But one of the first words that I didn't understand that I learned in crossword land. It means to state something. In this case, it means to confirm. So an Avenger, gosh. So you need a little bit of general knowledge there to know that Iron Man is one of the Avengers. And yeah, wow. So, and then we're putting ENG as a English there. Wow. Okay, so what is that giving us here? Money brought up in audition. Brought up. I don't think that's, well, I think that's raisin going in there, but I can't see what the wordplay is. If that's raisin, dried fruit is squashed. Oh, yes, of course. Raisin. Okay, so what we've got the word is squashed going into rain, which is fall. Gosh, rainfall, which is dried fruit. Okay, because I didn't read the clue set properly, I'm just going to scroll up a little bit and see what it says. So it says insertion, one thing inside another makes the answer. In this case, I've just put an R into post office to give pro. But yeah, so we're finding out from dice that we're allowed to use more than just one letter, which is what I've been expecting and why I'm struggling through it. Okay, so I've got another one. Gosh, bread. I think that's bread. Okay, so bread is a slang word for money, and bread, B-R-E-D, is the sound alike. So bread, you were born and bred, brought up, is next to sound like. Convert that to bread for money. Good, getting there. Flawless, followed. I mean, the way these clues have gone, there's not much direct defining going on here. So it could be a word that doesn't. Followed would suggest it's going to be an ED. Flawless would be. What would it be? Changed, cringed, cleared. I'm not sure. Right, I'm going to have a little pause on the video while I have a think to myself about these last three clues, rather than lag this out with alphabet trolls. Okay, very quickly I've gone back to this clue and reread the French nurses provided vitality, and I'm thinking, nurses, now that I've started thinking, getting onto these insertion clues, nurses could be a provided clue and an insertion clue, and provided is if, and if we put if into l, we get life, which would then make that vitality. So yeah, the French is LE, and nursing if for provided. So provided that happens, if that happens. So what do we got? European aboard. So put an E feasted. Feasted and fasted, I think that is. So feasted is ate everything, hadn't eaten, is fasted, put an E into that, which just leaves this one. Followed is, what's going to go in there? Ceased. Flawless, ceased, no. So we can eliminate pretty much the lower part of the keyboard, Z, X, C, V, B, and M. Yep. Not going to be an A, not going to be an S, D. I would think that's chased, if I'm looking at it now. Get to the H. Chased is followed. And chased, if you were to put a T in there, it's the sound like. I wouldn't have thought of chased as flawless, but yeah, chased. There it is. Right, I think that's everything. Let's check all. Okay, everything seems okay. I've got letters everywhere, so got there in the end. Gosh, that was a toughie from Dice. I think to me what that made that hard was the choice of words and definitions were not easy to get to. I mean, for example, issues from tweeters, you're not going to biff that as a eggs. I had to really work to decode some of these. So wow, if you went through that and you managed it, congratulations. Remember, as I say, you've got all weekend to do this, so enjoy it.